You can't hook up in Indonesia because you will go to jail. This is a comment I received just recently, and I have received similar comments during the past few months, and today I want to address this issue and these comments. And what I think most of the guys who are commenting on this or asking me questions about this is the fact that Indonesia has passed a new law. It's actually an amended criminal code which comes into effect in 2025. And this law already was amended, I think, by the end of 2022. And it created great confusion, especially internationally, and many newspapers have reported on that. Long story short, I researched this topic as well, and what I learned and what I found out and what I concluded is that actually this new law does not, let's say, is not forbidding you to hook up with Indonesian girls or women, or to have sexual encounters with them, even if you are not married. Yeah. So this law is addressing adultery in Indonesia, and there is already a law in place. And this new law, which comes into effect in like next year, is just a little bit amended. So adultery, that means if you are a married guy and you have an affair with a different woman other than your wife, then this is called adultery. This is the classic case, right? But also if you are not married here in Indonesia and you will have an affair with a married woman, for example, then this is considered adultery, and this is what this law is about. I also read few statements of Indonesian politicians who address this issue. Of course, they are kind of downplaying it, and they also state that the tourism will not be affected. So you guys don't have to worry if you come here with your girlfriend and you're not married, and you think now you cannot enter Indonesia anymore. No, you and your girlfriend, you come here to Indonesia, you enjoy your life, you have a great time, same as before. Yeah, nobody will even ask you if you are married or not. In Jakarta, for example, I know that the Jakarta police has a policy to even not disturb or interfere in the privacy of couples who book a hotel room. Yeah. So I think this whole brouhaha around this law was a little bit too much, and I know Indonesia as well. You know, nothing is as cooked so hot. Nothing is as eaten so hot as it's being cooked. This is how we say in Germany, you know. And again, knowing Indonesia, being here for such a long time and working here for many years, I know how the things work here, you know. But I want to talk also about something else. In case some of the guys are not referring to this new law which comes into effect next year, which, by the way, you don't have to worry about, right? So there is really no issue dating Indonesian women here in Indonesia. Yeah, if you are a Christian or a non-believer or an atheist or something like that, you don't have to worry at all. You will not get in trouble with dating Indonesian girls inside of Indonesia. This is not my experience, and I spent 4 years working and living in Indonesia. I worked here. I had a job, a full-time job. Yeah, everything was legal. I had a contract. I worked for large hotels here in Indonesia, for large chain hotels, internationally recognized chain hotels. 3 years in Medan in Sumatra and 1 year in Batam. And during this time, I reported this in my other videos, I dated plenty of Indonesian women, dozens of them, Christian, Muslims, you name it. Actually, the majority of these ladies I dated were actually Muslims. And there was never ever any problem. Never ever anybody stopped me or reported me, neither the dad of my previous girlfriends, the parents or the sisters or the brothers or whatever. Nor did any policeman show up at the front door and try to arrest me. Yeah? So I want to make this really clear. You see, I'm still a free man, right? And I didn't do anything wrong other than to date these women. And these women want to date you also. Yeah? There are also Christian women in Indonesia, and they are very interested to date Westerners because of the religion. But the crazy thing here in Indonesia is that especially many Muslim women are very, very eager to date foreigners. And they don't seem to care about their religion at all. I will address this in an upcoming video, but this is all I can say right now. So I never got in any trouble whatsoever. But of course you have to know that you are in a different country. You are not in Germany, you are not in France, you're not in California or Canada or Australia. Yeah, you are in an Asian country, and you should also know, and you have to do your due diligence, and you have to do some research, and that's why also I'm doing these videos. Yeah? You have to understand that you are here in Indonesia living in a very traditional, still very traditional society, way more conservative than our Western countries. But actually, when you look at our countries, like for example Germany, now it's not so long ago that also our societies, like my grandmother, I know when she was growing up in the 30s and the 40s of the past century. You know, when she told her stories, you could clearly figure out that the society and the social structures and everything was very, very much, yeah, of course, today we would say old-fashioned and conservative. And that was 70, 80 years ago only. Yeah, it was the same way in Germany, you know. And even the marriage of my grandmother was arranged, you know. In many other parts of Germany during that time, women already were free to choose their husbands. But my grandmom's marriage was still arranged by her parents, yeah, and by her future husband's parents, you know. My grandma, by the way, she came from the countryside. She was a province girl, you know, so similar to Indonesia, where many, many women actually live in the province, right? So we have to understand that you are in a different country. This is the most important thing to understand. And if you have some common sense, you also will know and understand that, yeah, dating dynamics are different here. Yeah, and you have to learn about these dating dynamics. You have to learn about the culture, and then if you traveled relatively in a decent amount, then you also know that yeah, you have to behave. You have to behave differently in different cultures in different countries, and you have to also be able to adopt accordingly. You know, especially in Indonesia, which is a Muslim country, where everything is more traditional and more conservative, and the family plays a big role, and there's a lot of pressure coming from the parents. And you know, Indonesia is all about face saving a lot, you know. So this is actually I want to mention, so there's nothing for you guys to worry. Come here, explore for yourself, you know. During the past few weeks, I'm shooting and throwing out these videos. I basically do a promotion job here for Indonesia. And by the way, one of my upcoming videos is about comparing actually Indonesia and the Philippines. You know, there's also much to say. I don't even understand why Indonesia is so underrated. It's a way bigger country. But for example, the Philippines is way more popular, but it has to do also with the American guys, you know, they prefer the Philippines, has to do with the history and stuff. But now it's like, you know, I think it's almost too much, you know, like the Philippines is now really a big trend, or even more than that. Hey, come to Indonesia, you know, you have very beautiful, pretty, caring, lovely girls here also, you know, and you don't know what you miss, you know, but of course, you know, difference in language skill, English language skill, and the culture, the Muslim religion thing is a little bit plays a role, and I do not contradict myself, you know, because one of you might say, oh, you just said, Marcel, there is no problem in dating Muslim women. Yeah, there is no problem in dating them because they are open to date you. Yeah, you will be very surprised to see and learn how fast and quickly things are developing. But I'm talking about the society, because Indonesia is a society dominated by Islam. It's not a Muslim state by its constitution, that it's not, but it's the culture is of course highly influenced by Islam and its traditions and cultural influences and the heritage and everything, right? So this is what you have to understand. And last but not least, I can tell you that I'm currently dating a Muslim girl here, yeah, in Indonesia, and there is no problem whatsoever. Yeah, she is not wearing a hijab. Yeah, so she is. That's her own choice. I asked her. She told me that. That's a different story. I will not go into this here in this video, why certain girls do not wear the hijab. This is their personal preference. There's nothing wrong about it, and they are not looked down upon by Indonesian Muslim Islamic society, just to let you know. Yeah? These are not outlaws. These girls, Muslim girls who are not choosing to wear a hijab, who are not deciding to cover their head, are not outlaws, or are not being outlawed by Islamic culture or society. It has nothing to do with it, because the faith, it's a personal thing between you and God. That's what the girls explained to me, and they just simply don't feel ready to wear the hijab, you know. So much for that. And yeah, we have no problems in walking down together the street here, and of course we don't show our affection. This is one thing you cannot do in Indonesia because of the conservative culture, you know, like holding hands or even kissing and stuff is not encouraged here. This is what I mean with common sense and learning about the culture and these kind of stuff. You have to get familiar with that, you know. But it's not even the case in the Philippines, you know. It's not even the case in any Southeast Asian country. Not even in Vietnam, you know. You don't kiss in public in Vietnam. Yeah, you might be holding hands, okay. In the Philippines, you might be holding hands, but in general, showing public affection for each other is more or less a taboo in all Southeast Asian countries. So yeah, no issue at all. I enjoy my time here and I learn, you know, also, and that's all I want to say. And I hope you lose your worries or even your fear or your hesitation to not come to Indonesia because you hear these rumors and about certain laws, and yeah, you cannot do this, you cannot do that, and you can get arrested. You know, I remember one comment already a few weeks ago from some guy, must have been a foreigner, who also asked this question or even stated, no, you cannot date in Indonesia as a foreigner because it's against the law and you can get arrested. Again, you know, number one, you have not only Muslim women in Indonesia, you have also a large chunk of Christian women, Protestants, Catholics, you also have Hindu women, you know. And this comment from that guy at the time, I remember, was actually answered and countered by an Indonesian man who actually wrote an extensive comment and said this is absolutely nonsense. He, as an Indonesian man, can also confirm that when foreigners come to Indonesia, that they are happy dating here and they are open to date and there are no restrictions whatsoever. And this guy, actually, this Indonesian guy, the respondent to this message, actually said, please, foreigners, come to Indonesia, date our women. We need more variety, we need more, and that kind of stuff. So with that being said, I hope I could clarify this matter for you, because I know for some newbies and some people, or maybe even for many people, it is still a problem, you know, because these rumors went around. But also, last point I want to make, only if I only would go by my gut feeling, there's nothing to worry as long as you respect the rules and the traditions here in this country, and then you will face no problems whatsoever. The same rules which you actually observe in your home country, right? So there will be no problem whatsoever. And Indonesian people are very open. You know, Indonesia wants tourists, Indonesia needs tourists, and they invite you to come here as long as you respect the country, right? If you mess it up, they kick you out, you know, and other stuff, you know. But other than that, come here, enjoy the girls, enjoy the women, you know, and then see for yourself. With that being said, of course, I'm checking out for today. If you have any questions, let me know. Of course, I will answer them, no problems. And yeah, I'm gonna see you in one of my next videos. Take care. Bye bye. Here from, by the way, beautiful Yogyakarta in Central Java. One of my, I think it has become now my favorite region here in Indonesia. And I explained it already in one of my earlier videos. It's a great place, fantastic. Great vibe, great people. Very hard to explain. You have to come here to really experience it. Really beautiful. So, see you in my next video. Bye bye.